Good afternoon, Flosstube. I'm Sarah and this is my channel, Sew Me Sarah. Here is a little corner of YouTube all about cross stitch and sometimes other needle crafts and whatever else I fancy throwing in on a given day. It's Saturday the 8th of November 2025. I'm back a day earlier than I usually would be. As you know, I normally record on Sundays, but tomorrow we have my dad's 80th birthday celebrations, so I'm trying to sneak in my recording a day early. So hopefully I will also get time to upload it today. That's anybody's guess because uploading can be, sometimes it can take half an hour and sometimes it can take 4 hours. So it hasn't been too bad lately, but last week was a bit rough. The last episode was a bit rough in terms of how long it took to upload. So I'm in a different spot today, as you can see. That's because I am supporting myself with a hot water ball to the back on a comfy chair because I've put my back out again. It's not quite all the way out and I'm trying to keep it that way. So I have a hot water ball behind me and I'm sitting in my stitchy spot in the living room because the house is empty. So I'm taking all of those opportunities and coming to share my stitching with you. So before we go any further, I really should welcome you to the channel and say thank you very much for stopping by. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support here on the channel Sew Me Sarah. And if you happen to have come across me for the first time today, you're very welcome here. I hope that you will enjoy the mixture of stitching and chit chat that I have to share. And if you discover that I'm not your kind of floss tuber, that's okay. There will be others out there who are. So we are, as I often say, a many and varied bunch. We have many different styles, tastes, and personalities, of course. So you will find a floss tuber who floats your boat. Or is your cup of tea, whichever particular metaphor you want to use. So make sure that even if you aren't going to hang around here, that you go and find another floss tuber to support and to enjoy and be inspired by. But I do hope that I have little bits here that will inspire you too. So I wanted to say a big thank you for your response to my last episode and sharing the journals that I shared. So I knew that I would find some stationery buddies out there, people who also love a nice journal, nice pens, nice stationery. So, and we all, well, not all of us, but a lot of us like to know how other people plan things. So sometimes it's good to just share and get some new ideas. But thank you for your appreciation of that little segment that I did last time. Today I have a Cotton Twine box to share with you. So this has kindly been gifted to me by the ladies of Cotton Twine. Cotton Twine is the subscription arm of the Historical Sampler Company, and they have a monthly subscription box which they have gifted to me so that I can share it with you. The changes that they've made recently to the subscription box are brilliant because they're so flexible, but one of the changes that I didn't realize was happening is the time frame in which the box is available to be ordered. So they have changed things up very slightly, and now the box for November is available to order from the 1st of November to the 30th of November. So the whole month of the box, you can order the box, you can place an order for the box, you can make a subscription choice. So that's good news because it's a little bit easier to remember than the previous 25th cut-off date. And the other thing that they're doing a little differently now is that they are going to show you the next month's box to preview it from the 22nd of the month. So from the 22nd of November, you will be able to see the December box. So just keep an eye out for those, but it's not a big change really. But it's a good change because you will have the whole month to be able to select to subscribe to the box. So let me show you what's in the lovely November box. Pardon me. Okay, so If you remember, one of the first option for the Cotton Twine subscription boxes is the whole box, the monthly subscription. You can have the whole box. That's the cardboard box I've just shown you. It comes beautifully wrapped. Let me see if I can do this here. It comes all beautifully wrapped. This gorgeous paper, which I take out and reuse. Sorry, the sun is playing peekaboo behind my neighbour's chimney pot, and I don't want to close the curtains because it makes it too dark and it keeps going in and out. So hopefully it won't be there for too long, but if I have to squint for too much, I will get up and change things. So inside the box, you have got your pattern. And this one is a lovely pattern. What have they called it? I don't know. Sometimes they have names on them and sometimes they don't. Anyway, it's a lovely reindeer pattern. Let me show you. A beautiful large chart again, as always. Lovely large readable chart. And it's gorgeous wintry frosty colours, and that little reindeer has lovely personality. He's got a red saddle and a beautiful red scarf, or perhaps it's just a red jacket keeping him warm in the frosty weather. So that is the pattern for the November box. And you also get the fabric and threads. The fabric will be your choice of a 16 count Aida or a 32 count linen. My box has linen in it. And it's a beautiful soft blue linen. Let me see if I can put this behind it. That might help just with the light. There you can see that it's a better blue colour. So that's the linen version. The Aida will be the same colour. And then there are the threads. So not a huge variety of colours this time, but that all adds to the simple, beautiful and simple effect. That's the back, sorry. The beautiful and simple effect of the design. So the colours, your fabric, your thread. There will be a needle tucked into that thread, there always is. And that's your whole kit. So getting the whole kit like that is an option as well. That's the second option. And the third option is you can get the pattern by PDF. But if you go for the first option, which is the gift box, you get other goodies too. So you get the finishing item, which for this pattern is a hoop. Cheeky face. And then you get an ornament, a little gift ornament. This one is actually quite a big star. It's lovely. Natural star with two lovely big jingle bells on. There's always a sweet treat, which this time is a lovely white chocolate snowman. And then there's always a little cup of tea for a refresher in there as well. So that is the November box from Cotton Twine. I have links down below to the subscription page where you will be able to find all the information that you need. Remember that the subscription is flexible. So if you decide to go for the gift box this time, and the gift boxes are £20 for the Aida box or £22 for the linen box. The kit only option starts from £14 and the PDF version starts at £7. So it's really good value no matter which of the three options you go for. But you will be able to select your subscription choice when you log on, and then if next month you decide you want a different option, you only want PDF next month, or you want to skip, you can cancel. Sorry, you can skip, you can pause, or you can change your type of subscription each time. So I didn't say that very well today, apologies, but hopefully it made sense anyway. So that is the November Cotton Twine box, and remember that you have all month to be able to order that, but go and order it up if that's something that you fancy. Okay, let me share with you some of my stitching. Now, the stitching that you're going to see today has been dictated largely by the list I showed you last week, which is this 2025 project countdown list that I came up with. And this is my attempt to get my whips down a little bit before the end of the year, only because I know rightly I'm going to be putting them up again at the beginning of the year. As things are transpiring. I think I already have 3 new starts planned for January. But I'll tell you more about those in due course. But anyway, I wanted to get some of the whips that I have currently across the finish line, at least trying to focus on them to push them over that line. So that is the list that I'm trying to work from mostly. Very occasionally might pull in another project to do something with, but that is the list I'm mostly focusing on between now and the end of the year, and therefore that's mostly what you're going to see from me between now and the end of the year. So first up is my daily thread stitch, and this is a Flossabilities chart. It's the Christmas pillow. So I showed you recently I finished the winter pillow, and I had a fully finish a few episodes back of the autumn pillow. So there's a whole series of these seasonally and for holidays as well, and I've had them for quite a long time in my stash and really wanted to get them stitched up. So I brought the Christmas pillow in to replace the winter pillow as my daily thread stitch. So my daily thread stitch, oops, sorry for the wobble. The tripod is sitting just at my feet, so every time I move I'm risking wobbling things, so apologies. So a daily thread stitch is where I basically have a little warm-up to all of my stitching sessions. So on a day when I'm going to stitch, I'll make this my first project. And I will take one length of thread, whatever that length is that I would thread my needle with once. So mostly for me, that's about an 18-inch length of thread. But whatever you do, if you want to know, just thread your needle once and then stitch it. Stitch your project, and then you can move on to your main piece for the day. Some people like the idea, some people don't. I find it works really well for me, and it helps me to make consistent progress on something small like this. Sometimes it helps me over the line with a project I've got stalled a little bit with, and I can pick that up and work on it one thread a day. And I tend to find when I do that I sort of fall in love with the project again, and I'm happy to get it out again. So yeah, the I use it for different reasons and different purposes. Sorry, the sun has now decided to come blind me completely. So I use the daily thread for different purposes at different times. At this time, I'm wanting just to bring in the little pillows, the little Flossabilities pillows, and get them stitched up, and hopefully maybe even fully finished on time to be with my decor for Christmas. So we'll see. Let me show you where I have got to with it. I'm stitching it on a 32 count Lugana, it's a Murano in pale cream, and 2/2, and this is Gentle Arts Schoolhouse Red, which is an amazing red colour. It's quite probable that with the way the light is working today, you're not seeing anything very well, so I apologize for that, but it is a delicious red color, and I will definitely be adding more Schoolhouse Red to my stash. This is a color I think you could never not have enough of. Okay, so I have 5 of the 9 little squares stitched. I had a tiny piece of floss left, so I did this little bit of another square. But I have just the other 4 to do, and I'm fairly convinced I can get this one done by the end of the month. If I just, as long as I can stitch every day. And there is, I guess, a question mark over that now that I'm going to be going to hospital taking care of Dad once he gets home and stuff too. So I might not have as much time as I had once thought I would, but we'll see. And if I can pick this up and keep working on it consistently, then I should be able to get this one over the line by the end of the month. So that is the Christmas Pillow by Flossabilities. I'm going to hold the board, I think, and see in case I need it for something else. Next, I have been working this one. Is the Historical Sampler Company's current stitch along, and it's called the Magical Gingerbread House Sal. And this is the one that I've been doing most work on lately. I'm trying to stay on top of it. I'm trying to stay up to date with the parts. So part 1 and 2 have been released, and here is all the beauty of it. So I think we can see where the gingerbread house is going to be. I did say on the last episode that I was hoping to be able to stitch some of it, but they're teasing me and working around this gingerbread house. So tomorrow part 3 comes out, and I'm wondering, will we end up having the bottom finished and then the gingerbread house as the last part? Or are they going to let us have the gingerbread house tomorrow? So it'll be fun to find out about that tomorrow. So this is the Historical Sampler Company's current stitch along magical gingerbread house. If you are interested in this, it is still available as a kit or as a PDF, and you could still have this stitched up for the end of the year. So it might be a nice one to stitch through the December period, even if you don't have a chance to get it finished. But if you're a speedy stitcher and a little bit more focused than me, you could still catch up on this and get it finished as well on time for Christmas decor. So it's really beautiful, and should have held it at the top. It's really beautiful and has been lovely to stitch so far. So looking forward to tomorrow's release to see how that goes. The colour is washing out terribly in this autumn light that we're having, so it's suddenly got very dark outside with just a direct beam of light at my eyes. So I think it's my normal position in the dining room is maybe slightly better for this. Okay, I have been stitching on Treasury of Compassion, which is a chart by Teresa Kogut, and that is not on my list project countdown, but it has been a project that I have been stitching along with Andrew the runner stitcher for the Whip into Shape Sal. So Andrew was doing training for the New York City Marathon and previously for the Sydney Marathon, and he had the Whip into Shape Sal, and he encouraged us to join with his training program, stitch 10 stitches for every mile of his training, and keep up with him that way. You could also stitch according to the time that it took him. So if he ran for 2 hours a day, then you could stitch for 2 hours in the day. I finished the first project that I started for that, which was the Bee Queen. And then I decided to continue training along with Andrew and picked up the Treasury of Compassion. I forgot to show you the chart, sorry about that. So that is Treasury of Compassion by Teresa Kogut. I'm stitching this on a 40 count linen. It is Newcastle linen from Zweigart in the colour light mocha. And I am stitching 1/2 with DMC 115. So it's the variegated red. You can see that the variegation is not subtle, but I love it. I really do love it. So I have kept up with Andrew's training and indeed got in the 262 stitches, which is not much of a feat compared to his own 26.2 miles that he ran last Sunday. So congratulations, Andrew. I know it was a tough race for you, but I am really impressed by your perseverance and determination to cross that finish line. And you did it in a really good time considering the physical challenges that you met on the day. So congratulations, and thank you so much for inviting us to support you and to join in by stitching on some of our whips along with you. So I know that you're taking a little bit of a breather now, a very well-deserved breather, but I'm enjoying this one so much that I have decided I'm going to try and do 262 stitches a week from now until the end of the year, or maybe even until you pick up on the challenge again. You've said that you're considering it, that there might be a new challenge in the future. So certainly for now, I am happy to continue stitching on Treasury of Compassion. I enjoy this stitch. It's really mindful stitch for me. I love the prayer in the center of the design, and it's just been a very meaningful piece. So I'm enjoying working on it. I don't want to put it away. So 262 stitches isn't going to get me anywhere terribly fast on it, but it's still a little bit of progress, even though I'm trying to finish off some other things. So that is Treasury of Compassion. And sorry, I should say, Andrew is also stitching this. He has recently started it, and he's stitching it in the called for flosses, which are Valentine Autumn something, I think it is. Valentine, sorry, Golden Autumn, and the colours look beautiful. They really do. It's hard to sort of tell on the chart. But if you want to see them in the called for, go and check out Andrew's channel and see his version. The other project that I picked up from my countdown list this time, the last couple of weeks, is the Gilmoreisms, or it's just Gilmoreisms, and this is a pattern by Forbidden Fibre Co. And I'm down here at the bottom. It's not very exciting, but I have put in several of the frames, and this will be the bottom of the design. So later this afternoon and this evening, while I'm on Zoom call, I'm hoping to finish off these frames, and then it'll just be a matter of going and filling them in. She says like that's going to happen really quickly, but but it's a plan. It's a plan because I'm focusing on trying to push this one over the line and be finished by the time the end of the year comes. So that is a little bit of progress, albeit not terribly inspiring, on Gilmoreisms. Project bag for that one. And next then is a little bit on new starts. So Christmas Pillow was a new start because I had finished the Winter Pillow. And then I have had two other starts. The first of which is a story about the stitching universe kicking back. Let me explain. So I am only a member of one Patreon, and that is Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery's Patreon, and I've actually dipped in and out of membership of it from time to time, but I am currently a member and have been keenly awaiting the release of the 2026 SAL pattern. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see what it looked like in totality. He has, as Patreons, he has shared with us some of the design in progress, but we haven't seen the whole thing. Anyway, last week, I think, he shared, yes, I think it was last week, he shared the design in totality, and he offered it to Patreons, to his Patreon members, to purchase, I think just a day ahead of the general release of it. So when I saw it, I thought, oh yeah, it's a big red sampler. I need to be ordering that. So it is, let me share it with you, Modern Folk Embroidery, Little Acorns. So I'm not sure if you can see it terribly well here, but large streams from little fountains flow, tall oaks from little acorns grow. So those are lines from a poem that Jacob has adapted to stitching and popped in here. So as you can see, it's a gorgeous red band sampler. It's right up my street. It's everything that I love about Jacob's designs. Do I need a new Jacob design? No. Do I need any new designs? No. But it's lovely. I mean, it's more than lovely. It's beautiful. And I thought about it for not very long and then placed my order, purchased it, and then thought that I would make a start. And my thought process was that I would put in the borders. So if you can see from the pattern, but it's basically a single stitch box border on lots of the bands. So I thought that if I could get that prepared before the end of the year, then maybe I could try to keep up with some of the months. I know I won't keep up with the whole sale, I just know that I won't. But I thought if I could get the whole outline in, then that would be a nice position to be in. So I looked at the chart, I took the measurements, I cut my fabric, and I made a start. And here's my start. Oh, it's nothing to look at, and it wasn't going to be. It wasn't meant to be. I haven't finished this line, which is why it looks paler on this side. I haven't actually finished the line of stitching. But my saga of the stitching universe fighting back and putting me in my place, in other words, saying to me, you didn't need this start and you shouldn't be starting it, is that as I stitched down, so I think if you can see, as I stitched down, I was counting and putting in an X where the lines should go across. I thought it was just easier to do that while I was stitching down. So we got all the way down. I stitched and stitched and stitched. This is, by the way, for me, a whole day's work. I stitched and stitched and stitched, and I got to here and I thought, something's not right, because there's about another 100 stitches to go. And this is all the fabric I have. So I went back and I looked and I checked, and I had the right numbers and I had the right measurements and I had the right maths. And anyway, it happened that there was just a little error on the chart, and the chart is 389 stitches tall, not 289 stitches tall, or it's 289 or 239 when we see. Yeah. It said 289, but it is 389. So it was just a little typo on one of the pages. If I had looked properly at the pattern and not rushed in, I would have seen very clearly on the pattern that it stretches to 389 stitches. So, anyway, I had a huff. I had a huff as the universe was telling me that I really had no business starting this and I should know better and all of the things, but I kept huffing. But anyway, what I've decided to do, because my fabric is cut, because it's a beautiful piece of 46 count Eleanor's Ivory from Swan Bay Fabric, and the leftover, the remnant piece is not big enough to accommodate the other 100 stitches either. And I really, really just want to stitch it on this fabric. And I've already put in a whole day's work. I know it's not the end of to have to unpick this, but it's 46 count unpicking, guys. It's hard to unpick on 46 count. Anyway, tale of woe over. I made a decision. So my executive decision is to shorten the chart. Unfortunately, it means I have to leave something out, but if you can see down here, if I do this, my chart will look like so, and it still looks very beautiful. I'm sorry, I will be sorry that I'm missing out on these bands, but actually these would make beautiful stitches on their own some other time. And this border here, this band, is backstitched. It's beautiful, really beautiful. And I'm kind of sorry not to be including it, but I didn't think that it made as nice a final border, a final band. So that's why I decided to do this. So that's my tale of woe. That's my comeuppance for being greedy, being a greedy stitcher and wanting to stitch everything and starting everything when I have no business starting it at all. But it's beautiful. So it will be okay. I will be heartbroken for a little bit longer, but it will be okay. So anyway, that was a new start that I shouldn't have had, but I did. But I'm not the only one to have those. Okay. My last new start and the last bit of stitching I have to share with you today is my preparation for the Jingle Ball. And I said last time that I was really kindly gifted the class at Jingle Ball by my friend Kathleen. She bought it for me, and it is the Christmas Snow Globes class by Hello from Liz Matthews. I'm very excited about this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the class in real time, but I'm hoping if I can do the preparation that maybe I could catch it sometime in December. So your pre-stitching for the class means deciding which designs you want to put together in your snow globe jar. Liz has already put some of them together for us in combinations, and I've decided to go with this one for now. I love this one too. I love the red and the gold in it, and I quite like the little town as well. They're all pretty, they really are all pretty, but I thought for now I'll stitch this one and then see if that means that I could actually get the class done in December, either on the day or night. I'm not sure when it is, I have to check that on the schedule, but to see whether I could do it on time or whether I just catch up with it later in December. So I started on a piece of, I think a scrap piece. Actually, I have this long scrap of 32 count Murano, and it's perfect because Liz tells you on the pattern that you don't need a lot of extra, don't need a lot of extra border allowance or anything around your designs, just a little bit. And I've started to stitch the Christmas tree, so it's quite a big tree actually, so I've got quite a bit to go. And then there will be the little snowman, you stitch him separately, and then the two parcels. I think they're stitched side by side as one item rather than as two. I'll need to check the pattern that we got from the class registration. But that is my last other new start for now. So that'll keep me busy as we head into plans. I obviously want to keep working on that, and the magical gingerbread house, the third part. It's got very dark now, so if I sit forward a little bit, maybe that's easier for you to see me. The magical gingerbread house part 3 is coming out, and some of these plans might be a little bit ambitious with that in hospital, but we'll see. Gilmoreisms, I've got, hopefully those frames will be able to be started filling in soon. Christmas pillow for my daily thread, and finish that border for the sal I shouldn't be starting. The other project that if I can I'd like to bring in again is Robin's Spring. That's a Little Robin Designs, I think, or Robin Pickens. Oh, I've forgotten now, sorry. But I started it, and it would be really nice to keep working on and finish that. It's lovely in bright colours as well. So those are the plans. Those are what you can expect to see, I hope, that I have been working on when I next record an episode. So yeah, I think that'll keep me plenty busy in the next couple of weeks. So as you know, I like to encourage us all to find ways to connect with the community here. You guys are really good at connecting with me, leaving comments on the Flosstube, and I try to always reply as far as I possibly can. And we make connections that way. But one of the really great ways for us to make connections in the community is through stitch-alongs. And it's one of the reasons, in all seriousness, why I get involved in so many stitch-alongs, is because I enjoy seeing what other people have stitched. I enjoy being inspired by their changes to charts, their changes of colours, their changes of fabric and threads, the new ideas that they have that I didn't have myself. So being inspired by everyone else is a real joy to me. And it is possible through our stitch-alongs to have connections with people. So I have some stitch-alongs that I do are kind of like a private one with a friend, or a very public ones like the Historical Sampler Company ones, or ones that other floss tubers have decided to run as well. And this is a really great time of the year to be watching out for the announcement of new stitch alongs, which is really what I'm getting to here. At this time of year, people are planning their January starts, their January stitch alongs, and it's a great time of the year to get an idea of what's happening in the community and what you might like to join in with. So my first and biggest encouragement at this time is that as you watch what other folk are planning, make a note if it's interesting to you. Make a note and say, oh, you know, Laura over at Stitching by the Shore, she's starting such and such, and you know, Sarah at Sarah Stitchy Spot is planning to start whatever it is that she's planning to start. So there's lots and lots happening, and that can feel a little overwhelming too with January, because there's so many new starts for that new year. But remember that, you know, you can start a few days later or a week later and still be part of things. You'll be able to, in some cases, you'll be able to join Facebook groups and share your progress with the other stitchers who are also participating in the stitch alongs. And so there are ways that you can join in and get connected to the community. You can stitch along, you can share your project progress, you can comment on other people's project progress, so you can be as quiet or as vocal as you like. Whatever level of connection makes you happy, that is available through a lot of these stitch alongs. So please, you know, keep your ears open for good stitch alongs, ones that would really work for you, and see what floats your boat for 2026. I have two to tell you about today. The first one is the Historical Sampler Company. They have a new stitch along starting on the 1st of January, and it's a winter stitch along called Woodland Winter. I'm going to pop some pictures in just as I'm chatting with you. So they do usually about 4 big stitch alongs during the year. This will be their first for 2026. It's a sampler style stitch along. There's a sneak peek, and it's lovely. It's really lovely. So we're going to have, I think, woodland animals. We've got a beautiful tree in the sneak peek. We have lots of lovely things coming. It will be beautiful. I know it will. Pre-order for that opens tomorrow. No, sorry, I'm forgetting that it's not Sunday. It opens on Monday, the 10th of November. And there are 3 options for participating in the sale. You can buy the full kit box. Now they will send that to me very kindly. They'll send that to me, and I will show it again when it arrives. So so that you can see how they do their gift boxes for their stitch alongs. Now I would like to say, hang on, wait till I show you, and then decide that you want to order it. But I'm going to be really honest with you and say you may not get it if you wait until I have it to show you. So I won't be back till a fortnight's time. They're just releasing this. I probably won't get it till the week before I record. So it's going to be 2 weeks before you see it here on my channel. By that time, pre-orders will have already opened. And last time they did a box, they sold out the box in 24 hours. So if you wait for me to show it, it might not be available to actually purchase. So again, I have this linked below. You can see all the pictures of that I've been posting here. You'll see all of the pictures of that, and I'll get all of the details on the Historical Sampler Company link. The gift box will have your kit. So you will have your fabric, 32 count or 16 count. You will have your threads and a needle, and you will get the chart by PDF emails on their release, and the release is usually fortnightly, so that'll be from the 1st of January. In the gift box, then you will also have some goodies, and they include a lovely winter rabbit needle minder, some ombre scissors, and a project bag, little drawstring one. There will be a snowflake thread organizer. It looks beautiful. You get a Nurge hoop, and you get a fun little gift and a sweet treat as well. So you get all of that in the gift box. It is a very good value. It's a bigger gift box than the normal monthly subscription boxes. But really good value, as I say, and please remember they do sell fast. So if you think this is something you want, then be ready on Monday to pre-order it because they go very quickly. I also should say that it would be a fantastic thing to tell your partners and loved ones that you would like for as a Christmas present, because it should arrive with you, I would imagine, before Christmas or just after. I would imagine that they will be there before Christmas, to be fair, because it starts on the 1st of January. So it would be a great thing to ask Santa for. As I said, you can then just opt for the kit option, which is your fabric threads. You'll get your PDF version patterns as they release. So fabric threads, needles, and again, choice of in it. I am getting my words mixed up this afternoon. Linen or Aida. Choice of. And then the third option is to just have the PDFs only and to kit it up yourself from Stash. So great options, great value, great prices, and always fun to see how their designs develop as the parts are released. So pre-orders on Monday the 10th for that. I will share the box when it comes to me, but as I say, it could be too late by then if you have waited to order it. So don't miss out if it's something you know you already want. The other stitch along that I can sort of tell you about is the Across the Pond Stitch and Chat group, which is a Facebook group, and it's open to anyone to join. We do have some questions on the front of the joining page, and you need to order those. Maybe I've had too many painkillers for my back. Okay, you need to answer the questions on the Across the Pond Facebook page. If you're a stitcher, you will have no problem answering the question. It's one question actually, and then the second question is, do you agree to abide by the group rules or something like that? So we're just, Marie and Angie who run the group are trying to just keep out the spammers basically. So it's a Facebook group that obviously focuses on stitching, and last year we had our first stitch along. It was very successful. It was a lot of fun. We had a stitch along of One Stitch at a Time by La Di Da, and as a group we chose that pattern to stitch for our first stitch along. And at the moment on the group we have a post which is inviting suggestions for next year's stitch along. So that is a stitch along that's coming up. I don't yet know what the design will be because, as I said, we are just at the stage of collecting ideas. So that post went out last Monday. If you are already a member, or if you join in the next day or so, look for a post that's kind of a cloudy sky, and it'll say about 2026 stitch along on it. And on there, folks have been posting charts that they think might be a good option for our next stitch along. It's going to be a 6-month stitch along this time, and we do look for charts that are available both in PDF and in hard copy, and preferably in hard copy from a number of sources, because there's quite a number of us. Last year we had 160 folks taking part in the SAL, and then a few more joined later on in the year as well. So we can't have all 160 of us go to the one supplier for charts, and we do, because we're international, we do need it to be available by on PDF as well. Anyway, I'm making this a very long story. There are options being suggested on that post at the moment. If you think you would like to stitch it, you hit the little thumbs up button next to that person's picture of the chart, and that gives us an idea of where the interest lies for the suggestions. This week, I'm going to call a halt to that, and I will look at all the charts that have been suggested and see how many have had, who has had the most thumbs up, and the top 3 charts will then go forward into a poll, which we'll post then this week, and then everybody can choose one of those 3 charts, and the winning chart will be our next stitch along. So while we haven't got the stitch along chart decided yet, we are in the process of that. So if you'd like to be watching that as it happens, join the group. You're very welcome to join the group at any time. We also on Across the Pond have some Zoom calls, and they're once a month, usually the second Saturday of the month. It is limited. We're a big group now. But the Zoom call obviously can't accommodate everyone, so it is limited to 50 participants at this time. And you just get a ticket for that. It's all posted on the group, and you can get a ticket for the Zooms. And sometimes they're full up and sometimes they're not. So it's always worth having a look if you feel that you're free that day or evening, depending where you live, what the time is. In the UK, it's usually 8 p.m. that we meet on the second Saturday of the month. So there is actually one tonight. So that's another way of connecting. But just to say, for the stitch along, you do not have to participate in the Zoom calls at all, and there's never anything talked about on the Zoom calls in relation to the stitch along that isn't shared on the posts on the Facebook group. So decisions are not taken on the Zoom call. Occasionally someone has an idea or a suggestion, but I will bring that straight to the group. So I do host the SAL, and I will make sure that anything that is thought about or decided or being considered is all posted in the posts of the Facebook group, so that it doesn't become something that you're missing out on because you didn't attend the Zoom call. So again, I hope that all makes sense. So those are 2 options: the Historical Sampler Company's Woodland Winter Stitch Along, and whatever we come up with for Across the Pond. I know there will be lots of others. January is a time when folks do blessing samplers, when other folks start things together, and I have a plan as well for a new start in January, and you would be very welcome to join it too. So that's 2 for you: the Historical Sampler Company's Woodland Winter SAL and the Across the Pond SAL, whichever chart we decide to go with in the end. So we should have an answer on that in the next couple of weeks. So certainly by late November, we will have an answer on that chart. So if, again, keep an eye on the group. My one special thing today is that Joanita is back. So my lovely, lovely friend Joanita, who lives in the Netherlands and whose channel is called Stitchy Themed, is back on Flosstube. She posted earlier this week. I stayed up very late watching her because I was just about to go to bed, and I saw she had posted, and I could not go to bed until I had watched her post. It was so good to see her back. So I'm sure it was a hard post for her to make. She has been away from Flosstube for 1.5 years now, and she's back. She talks about her break from floss tubing, and she tells us all about how she's getting back into stitching slowly but surely, and it's so good to see her. So if you have been a subscriber of hers previously, I hope you haven't missed it. I hope you've been able to go and see her again. And if you have never watched Joanita's channel, I recommend going and maybe starting a few episodes back just to see the kinds of projects that she has been working on in the past, and then you can catch up to where she's at now. So please go and give her a big welcome back to Flosstube. We're glad to see her. I have one more thing that I would like to ask your help for today, but I've forgotten to bring it down. So I'm going to try and hobble my way upstairs. Actually, it's good for me to move. So I'm going to go and gather that and then come back and ask for your help. I'm back. The hobble wasn't too bad, actually. The heat from the hot water bowl is doing its job. So big thumbs up for hot water bowls. So I forgot to bring down a couple of patterns that I want your help with. I mentioned that I have 3 new starts that I already know about in January. So the first will be the Historical Sampler Company and then the Across the Pond one. And the third one, which I think will actually be my New Year's Day start, is a stitch along with my friend Kathleen from Kathleen's Trodden Trails. So quite some time ago, probably more than a year ago, Kathleen shared some patterns that she had bought from a designer called Madame Lafay, a French designer. And Kathleen had bought these charts and I just thought they were really beautiful, and I wanted to go and have a look and see what else Madame Lafay had on offer. So you can get Madame Lafay charts from 123 Stitch, and I'm sure she has her own site from France as well. So when I went to look, I fell in love with many charts, put lots of them in my wish list and spent some time thinking about it, and then eventually I bought 2 charts. Now, they are more expensive charts, but they're quite, it's not that they're large, these ones that I've got are around 180, 190 square-ish, so 181 by 195 or 193 by 182, so they're around 185 square, let's say. But they're quite, there are quite a number of areas in them which would be kind of very dense coverage, very dense stitching. But anyway, that all makes for very beautiful designs. So I have 2 here. Kathleen and I were going to start this back in August, but we were really busy and didn't. So we have decided, I think, I need to just fully confirm with Kathleen, but I think we're going to go for this for the beginning of January as a stitch along. Now this will be a very casual stitch along. A start along is probably a better way to describe this one. Less formal than the others with the parts. We're just going to start together and then see where we go and share our progress with each other and with you on our channels throughout the year. So I would like to do a viewer poll today because it's been a long time since I had a viewer poll on here, and I love viewer polls. So you get to choose which of my 2 Madame Lafay charts will be my new start for 2026. So let me show you them so that you can make a decision for me. The first one is called Les Belles Lettres. So the beautiful letters. So I have my affinity for stationery also includes letter writing. I loved letter writing. I loved having pen pals when I was little. I wrote to my boyfriend who became my fiance, who became my husband, for years and years because he studied away and then he worked away before he finally came home when we got married. And I had lots of different kinds of pen pals. I wrote to my cousins, I wrote to pen pals that were organised by school. I just loved posting letters. So I have an affinity for good old-fashioned snail mail, and I thought this was a lovely kind of tribute to that. So it's called Les Belles Lettres. I hope you can see the chart well. So that is the first of my options. The second one I love equally, so you can't make a wrong choice for me, guys. The second one is called Maison de Famille, so family house, family home, and I bet you can guess why I like this one. There's that beautiful teapot, there's beautiful font in there, beautiful swirly bits, flowers, cake tin, beautiful cake, pile of fabric, a little bit of gingham, what's not to love? So this one is Maison de Famille, and this one is Les Belles Lettres. So which one should I start on the 1st of January with Kathleen. Put letters for les belles lettres, if that would be your choice for me, and put family for maison de famille. So either letters or family. And by my next episode, hopefully in 2 weeks' time, when would that be? The 23rd of November. So by the 23rd of November, I will tally up everybody's response and see which chart wins and let you know then which one I'll be able to go away and kit up then for my January start. So letters or family, you choose. I'm really looking forward to that. I always enjoy when you have chosen a stitch for me, and it adds another little element to the thing for me, to the project for me, knowing that you guys have had a say. So thank you for indulging that. I hope, as I said, to be back in 2 weeks on a Sunday again. Fingers crossed, everything going well. I think that it will be my last full regular floss tube of the year. Now that's not to say you're not going to see me in December. You are going to see me in December, but I'm not going to be doing one of these kind of regular floss tubes in December. I'm going to do a couple of little videos to share the advent calendar, the Historical Sampler Company's advent calendar with you, share the goodies from that, and maybe I'll do a little Christmas chat the way I did last year as well. I'd like very much to do that. I enjoyed doing it last year, so there'll be 3 or 4 of those videos, and I won't be doing any spoilers, so I'll only be showing you what has already been opened in the advent calendar, and then I will have one more full video in December, and that will hopefully be my whip parade, because I have always enjoyed doing my whip parades in December. I didn't get it done in December last year, but I'm hoping that now that I've thought about it and planned it a little bit, that will be something I get done in November. Did I say November? In December. Okay, so I prefer to do it in December for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just like doing it in December. So I'm going to do that whip parade in December and a few little Christmas advent reveals in December rather than the regular floss tube episodes. I will share with you if I have done a little bit of stitching. I'll share some progress with you along the way in the Advent Reveals episodes as well. So you're not really going to miss anything. It's just going to be in a different format. So that is how I plan to go forward. So I should see you on the 23rd, hopefully, for the next regular floss tube, and then we'll just change tack a little bit for December. So those are my plans. I hope you have good plans too. At this time of the year, I think sometimes we can have too many plans. It's getting to be a very busy time of the year. So if that's happening to you, please remember to just take a moment, take a breath, a deep one if you need it. And remember, you don't have to do everything. You really don't. We tell ourselves that we do, but we really don't. So, and get other people to help you too with everything that's coming up with holidays. I know those of you in the US have Thanksgiving still to come, as well as Christmas. I really couldn't cope if you put another holiday in, in the middle of all this for me. So my hat's off to you, but get everybody to muck in and help so that it's not all on your shoulders. So deep breaths, you can do this. And I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. So stay well and stitch happy. Bye, folks.